But again, matter of preference is really your playing style. You should make a player that matches your playing style. If you're making a player that you primarily want to get a ton of boards with, then a glass cleaning finisher with the speed pie chart may not be the player for you. If you want to make a player that catches bodies and goes crazy out there and disrupts the defense, then a 6'8 glass cleaning finisher may be the player for you. Hey, what's up, YouTube? You already know I'm AllCity with AllCityLiveTV.com, and thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about my center build and how my center has a 92 speed with a 90 acceleration. And the big question, the big debate on NBA 2K21 is strength over speed or speed over strength. Which one is more effective in NBA 2K21? I'm going to share my thoughts and my experience with my glass cleaning finisher at a 92 speed and 90 acceleration right now. Let's get it. Alright guys, so I'm going to keep it all the way a buck with you on everything that I've experienced on my glass cleaning finisher. He's 6'8", the lowest amount of strength, the lowest weight, the highest amount of speed with max wingspan. I'm going to tell you guys everything that I've noticed about playing with this glass cleaning finisher, and a good portion of it is positive. That's not to say that there aren't other great center builds out there, because I think it's a matter of preference. What do you make a center for? To me, in my opinion, the center build is the anchor of the defense. And if my build wasn't able to get rebounds or box out or things of that nature, then I would have had to reconsider this build and all. But it's quite different. I do get a good amount of rebounds. Although I have a low amount of strength, I'm able to hold the box out quite often. The only difference here is that if you run across a bigger build, like say a 7-footer, they're going to be slower to get in position, but as soon as they do get in position, you can't worm around them with a low strength type of player. That's going to be a difference for like a max strength versus a low strength, which we actually put to the test out there. There's going to be a lot that I'm going to talk about here, so keep your ears wide open out there, because I'm going to tell you guys a lot of the things that I've noticed when considering speed over strength. Similar like what I did, I started out with a max strength build, a paint beast, max strength. And I just noticed that there wasn't as much mobility as I would have liked. But there's players out there that don't necessarily need that mobility. I'm playing according to the players that I have around me. This is why I created speed over strength, or why I decided to go with speed over strength. If I know we don't have perimeter lockdowns at the perimeter or guarding the perimeter, then I'm going to have to hedge more often than some other centers out there. Some centers run with perimeter lockdowns, so they only need to do a slight hedge, especially in like 5v5. They don't need to hedge completely over to stop a three-point shot. But there's going to be more success for those players that don't play against perimeter lockdowns and they're trying to use the screen. If you got a slower center, you're not going to be able to pick up as quickly as I can and get back into the paint. These are some of the pros for my player as opposed to a slower moving center, that I'm able to hedge and get back into the paint. That's some of the pros on defense. And I'm able to get in position a lot quicker, a lot sooner than some of these other center builds out there. But I gotta tell you, if they put worm on Hall of Fame, or if you have more strength, if you're a center build that has more strength, you could actually worm a player like mine's out of the way, considering I don't have the box badge equipped. Some of the other pros that I've noticed about my player is that you can utilize you get the full benefits of a badge like post move lockdown. A lot of centers see my build and they wanna go one-on-one against me, but I didn't make this build to play one-on-one. Although I can be dominant in one-on-one, there are center builds that can play dominant offense against my build as well one-on-one. There's no difference. It's just the only difference there's really no difference in scoring. The only difference is how you score. Like a bigger center is gonna have to back me down, but I'm gonna just like dribble my way and speed boost past a slower center. So there's the differences in how you approach your offense with my build versus a bigger build. On defense, on the other hand, is where things quietly, like they change dramatically. Like this play right here, I do a little speed boost, come back with the spin dunk, and bam, it's a GG. And that happens quite often. I do it on live stream. This is not just me clip farming here, another crossover right here, gone, and I'm in the paint, dunking the ball before you even know it. There's some of the things that I've noticed and I really appreciate about speed over strength. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I started out with that strength center. I started out with the center that had max strength, but he was just too slow in certain instances where I should have scored or I should have been able to roll. He was too slow for my playing style. There are centers out there that are great and they don't necessarily need to run the pick and roll like we do. I think it's a matter of creating the center that best suits your playing style. And this center build is exactly what I've been looking for the last couple of years. The last couple of 2K releases, I've been looking for a center that has a good amount of speed, a high amount of mobility, and can grab boards all the same. Now, I gotta tell you, keeping it a buck with you guys, I am going to grab less boards out there over a taller center. And this is where priorities change, is that I'm happy to make that sacrifice. I feel good when making the sacrifice of giving up those rebounds and making a contest, because one thing that's good about the speed player is that although you may give up the rebound, that doesn't mean the center is going to be able to go right back up. The defense on this build is tremendous, so he gets a lot of good contests in the paint, even though I have a low amount of interior defense, which is so wild for 2K21. And this is one of the main reasons why I believe speed is more dominant in 2K21 over strength. From my opinion, for my playing style, there may be plenty of other centers that are doing great out there with bigger builds, and patch 4 even made it easier for taller centers to be more effective out there. So if you're thinking of making a taller center, I got a shorter center, a 6'8", but if you feel more comfortable making a taller center, so be it. Just make sure it aligns with your play style. That's what really counts here. If it aligns with your play style, in other words, there's people out there who have hit me up saying, I made your build, but he's just too fast. It doesn't match their playing style. He's too fast for their playing style. So my whole playing style is about, I'm gonna set a screen and roll. If that screen is not effective, or if my point guard can't shoot, then I'm darting back out. And that's the mobility that I like, that I really appreciate on this build, that I can dart right back out at an instant and set another screen for my shooter or ball handler, while the center is still stuck in the paint trying to make his way back up. And when that slow moving center makes his way back up and momentum is coming toward the perimeter, I'm darting back into the paint, getting in position for a rebound or getting in position for an alley-oop or pass into the paint that gives up 2 points. So these are some of the things that I've noticed about speed over strength. That's not to say that you can't make a balance as well, because I've seen some great paint beasts that have a good balance of speed and strength. But I gotta tell you, that 92 speed is really a game changer. It changes a lot, especially if you're running with a good point guard that can set you up appropriately for to match your speed. The plays should match your speed. If the point guard is not running plays to match your speed, then you're pretty much giving it up, because now you have low strength. You're not using the effectiveness or the reasons why you made a faster moving center. It's really reliant upon the point guard, just as a slow moving center is more reliant upon the point guard. You're only as good as your point guard allows you to be on offense. On defense, that may be a different story. Again, like I mentioned earlier, there may be some liabilities, just as there are liabilities for my glass cleaning finisher. But the point is, are you comfortable with the liabilities that you have, and can you make up for your shortcomings in other aspects of the defense? So for instance, although I may give up a rebound, I'm in so many passing lanes. I am in so many hedging off the screen. When somebody takes a screen, I'm hedging over, able to stop a 3-point or make a contest on the 3-point shot. That really flusters a lot of point guards out there, especially in the rec center, when they see a screen, they're normally used to having an open shot, especially if they have a big body center who's setting big body screens. They're normally used to just, curry sliding and getting the open shot. But with my center build, I'm able to make that contest or stop them from taking the shot in the first place, just like eliminate the option for a point guard. That's huge, and it usually flusters a lot of point guards out there. They aren't used to getting picked up by another center build. Although glass clean finishers are way more common these days, I gotta say I am one of the first builds. Shout out to the homie Late Night, because Late Night is the one who put me onto this build, and I've been having the time of my life playing with this build. So many highlights, as you guys see in the background, so many highlights and so much fun playing with this build. Having a low amount of strength does not seem to affect me outside of getting some boards. And I mean just like a very few amount of boards in comparison. There's not like a huge difference in like the amount of boards that one center will get over another as far as I'm concerned. I be there, I get some board, I get a sufficient amount of boards considering in rec, I gotta say very often 20 points, 10 rebounds. It's very often for me. It's like that's gonna be my average for the majority of games that I play. 20 points, 10 rebounds on average. And I think 10 rebounds is more on the lower side for a center build, but you gotta figure how much you're disrupting the offense, how much you're disrupting when they can't get in passing lanes, like when they can't pass it to a particular player because I am in the passing lanes, or they can't use a screen because I'm there on the hedge so quickly. There's like, I like the idea of being way more disruptive. Not giving the point guard time to create plays is what I really like about my glass cleaning finisher, and using speed over strength. Otherwise, you get strength, you're a little bit slower, you're about 1 or 2 steps slower, you cannot hedge fast enough, you cannot disrupt the offense and whatever plays they're creating. Some of the things to consider, although they are, like I mentioned, and I want to stress this, I can't stress this enough, it's really a matter of playing style and your preference. If you build your team, if your team is built around the center and you got perimeter locks, there's no reason for you to be hedging toward the 3-point line. They got pick dodge on Hall of Fame, pickpocket on Hall of Fame, they got interceptor, they got intimidator, they got everything they need. They got the badge arsenal to stop any perimeter offense out there. So this is the difference. If you build your team around players like that, if you build your player around a team like that, I should say, then you're gonna be good. If you have a big center out there that has a limited amount of mobility, they don't expect as much from the center. All they need is a screen and a rebound from the center and any type of contest in the paint. But I do gotta tell you as well, you gotta consider when you're playing rec or pro-am, there is 3 seconds to consider. And if you're running with a good point guard, getting from one side of 3 seconds to the other side of 3 seconds can prove tremendously difficult for a lot of big moving centers out there. So it's really a matter of the point guard, how the point guard runs those plays against a slower moving center, because the center is the anchor of the defense. And this is why I love mobility and speed over everything. As long as I'm getting those contests, again, if I wasn't getting those contests out there in the paint against anybody that's driving into the paint, then I would have had to reconsider. But being that the player has such a good amount of interior defense, it is not the actual attribute, it's just the animations that 2K is giving me, because I have a low interior defense. My attributes are low for interior defense. So being that 2K is allowing me to play good interior defense because of the badges that I have equipped, that allows me to maintain my play on this glass cleaning finisher build. So these are my thoughts. I don't know if I missed anything. If you guys think I missed anything as far as having this speed and whether or not you should consider speed over strength, I hope I resolved a lot of questions that you guys have out there. And these highlight plays should have showcased, these highlight plays that I have in the background should have showcased like some of the pros for using speed over strength. I know it has no effect on your dunking ability. You're gonna be banging on everybody like you guys see in the clips out here. You're gonna be doing a lot of different contact dunks using that speed over strength. And I gotta tell you, strength gets a lot of contact dunks as well. They're just not able to develop that momentum as quickly as I am, like a crossover right here and just a dunk on him like he's not even there. And as soon as I get that crossover and I get that speed boost, it's almost a GG for anybody that's contesting me out there. I'm gonna take off. It's like a launch pad, and it's just activated by the speed boost. So that's some of the things that I've noticed about speed over strength. I really enjoy using speed over strength. It's been a great experience, a great ride so far on 2K21. You just never really know what's gonna happen out there. But again, matter of preference is really your playing style. You should make a player that matches your playing style. If you're making a player that you primarily want to get a ton of boards with, then a glass cleaning finisher with the speed pie chart may not be the player for you. If you want to make a player that catches bodies and goes crazy out there and disrupts the defense, then a 6'8" glass cleaning finisher may be the player for you. I hope you guys found this video helpful and or informative, and if you did, please consider hitting that like button. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, as we're gonna have a ton of NBA 2K21 content coming your way. I'll catch you guys on the next video.